Hi, I'm Hannah Callihan. I'm the Vice President at North Central Insurance Agency. We're an independent insurance agency in Northern Baltimore County. We have the ability to write in Maryland and all of the surrounding states. We started with Growth Solutions probably been 6 years now, 5 or 6 years, and we have gone from being I would say very small micro insurance agency to tripling in size. And we've done that mainly through acquisitions, some organic, but mainly acquisitions. And that was something that the Growth Solutions team suggested as a way of growth. And I found that is something not only that I like doing, but makes sense. And especially in the agency world, we have just in the very beginning of 2022, finished our third acquisition, which we're very excited. It's been our third and our biggest one. We started with one smaller one and learned lots of lessons, and we did another smaller one in between, and this third one has been our biggest. Along the way, not only telling me that this was something that we needed to do and how to go about doing it was the next step. And so one thing that I remember when I was doing with the acquisitions and getting started, my dad and I in the agency were trying to think of all the things in our agency that we had to get together. What do we have to be prepared for? What do we have to do here and do there to be prepped before we can even like engage in a conversation? And I remember David being like, why don't you worry about that when you actually have it to worry about? Which was something that I was like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Why do I want to make sure I have all of these things in place and prepare and spend all this time when I didn't even have any prospects? So that was something that I definitely just got started. And I went through and did my research and just started calling people. I asked them for a little bit of a script, which was helpful, just kind of like how I should go about it. So Growth Solutions helped me figure out a script and just kind of points to hit on. And then other than slightly kicking me in the butt and telling me I needed to do it more often, which is always helpful and needed. Once I finally got somebody that was interested and was willing to consider and go on to the next step, it was David telling me, okay, what's the next step? Did you next step them? When do you meet with them next? And then, kind of went over, how did that call go? What did you discuss? And topics to bring up. You need to find out X, Y, and Z when you're talking with them. Because when you're going, you're just kind of excited. You have somebody that's wanting to talk with you, and you're trying not to step on their toes, but you have to find information out. So it was helping me figure out, okay, once I get them on the phone, once I know somebody that's interested, these are the things that I need to know. And then once we started getting deeper, like, okay, this is getting real, I think they're interested. It was trying to figure out, okay, what's the next step with, do we do the contract? Do we collect this information? Especially with the first one, it was, just getting the process of how things normally go. As now we finished our third one, it was the help that Growth Solutions had, not only with that similar process, but got a little bit more in depth because they got bigger, was being really strategic about time frame and about the next step and about holding them a little bit accountable, and which was something that I needed a little bit of nudge and help with confidence in saying certain things that was appropriate to say and it was okay to say. So that was something that really helped. The contract negotiations, them Growth Solutions coming in and being like, this isn't a big deal. Don't worry about this, or this is just normal practice. When it got to a couple things with the lending, the third one it was big enough that we needed some lending. So not only did Growth Solutions say, this is probably the bank that you want to go to because they're going to be able to help you, which they did. It was awesome. And we were very happy because they truly did know what we were doing. But when we got into the process, we had a lot of questions there, and there he was, don't worry about this, don't worry about that, this isn't a big deal, which was just calming, knowing that there's somebody that knows how these work and how the process goes, saying that this is normal, is just a little bit of a calming effect, which I always found is helpful. It was also something where I shot a text message to somebody on the team, was like, I have a call in an hour, and, you know, they text me back and, you know, what are these things that I need to bring up? And so that was just always really helpful. And, you know, looking over contracts and discussing employees and processes, and just, okay, now that we know it's happening, what do we need to do? And what are the things we need to work on? We're all really helpful. And I wouldn't have been able to do it, at least, or wouldn't have been able to do it in the calm fashion that it happened without the Growth Solutions team being there along the way. And probably the most fun and gratifying part of it was my dad and I got in the car after we signed what felt like our life away. And my dad's like, well, who do we want to tell? I said, well, I'm going to text David and Barbara, because I know that they're going to be just as excited as we are. And they're definitely, you know, they were just the natural person that we wanted to tell first. So that was very exciting. And having a group of people that care as much about your success, or maybe more than you do, is always nice to have those people on your team, knowing that that can help. They're just an extension of our office and our internal team. So couldn't have done it without them. And now I'm already being pushed to, where's the next one? And when, you know, how many more do you have? And so it's been, couldn't have done it without them. And that's the reason that I hired Growth Solutions, is I wanted to grow and I didn't know how to do it, and needed somebody to tell me what to do. And they most certainly did that. So been very helpful. We've tripled in size, and hoping to keep moving forward.